I am joined right now by Ed Cisternas, who joined us a while back, about 10 days ago, before heading over to Ukraine, where he was going over to get family members who needed to get out of Ukraine to Poland. Ed is back safe and sound here in the US to tell us about this adventure. Ed, I am glad, God willing, that you're back in one piece. What an adventure.
Yes, Shawn. Thank you for having me again. This time is different from the first interview because I was kind of nervous, even though I've been there many times, but there was no war when I was there. The country is so beautiful. The people are so nice, big heart. Um, I can say so much about Ukraine, but by now, many of you knows about, what Ukraine is all about. Yeah. When I left here, I traveled from Newark, New Jersey to Frankfurt. It was 17-hour traveling. So I left here on Thursday and I got to Poland on Friday, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And I left here on Thursday, 6 p.m.
It was a long journey.
It was a long journey. But I was so excited because by then my wife already reached Poland and she was already there. So it was easy for me. I picked up, I have it in my mind what kind of car that I needed to cross over because the weather there is not the same here. It's a lot of snow. No rain, but snow. And I figured I needed a good car. I needed a car, SUV, something, off the ground that I can travel easier and not worry about the weather itself. So with that in mind, I rent a car at the airport and they were very nice. I told them what I needed it for. They said, well, everybody wants to do the same thing. We have a lot of reporters coming from all over the world, and they're going through this place into Lviv, which is the next town in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it was only one car left. It was enough for me because it was a kind of like a station wagon, but newer. So it was fine.
So now you had a lot of folks to get to pick up. You needed to get into the country. You came from Poland into Ukraine. You luckily ran into some reporters. Now, you obviously have been in media for many years now. You've been in other war zones. You've been in Iraq and you've been in the Middle East, Afghanistan, other places in sort of the same type of situation. So this wasn't the first time you've seen a war-like situation, even though every time is different. So you're going into the country, which you don't know that well, and you run into some Polish reporters. They kind of led you into the country, right?
Yes, I'm glad you said that because it happened by accident. I was stopped at a gas station to fuel up just before the border. And I saw them because their car has the sign press all over the car.
Yeah.
And they was very friendly. One spoke very fair English, so I couldn't understand. He can understand me. And I explained the situation. I said, I want to run the border on Ukraine as far as I can, but I don't want to go past the border with Poland because that was my mission. The reason why I have to go further south is because the family, thank God, was coming back. They already took off from Sumy, which is 30 miles away from the borderline of Russia. So there was one of the very first town to get hit by the Russian army. And the situation was very precarious and we needed to take the family out of there. That include 3 adults and 3 kids. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, my car was big enough for all of them.
You're sort of coming this way and they're sort of coming that way.
The opposite way, exactly. But the difference between me and them, that they have to go through the war zone. they have to go through the capital. They have to. They got no other ways.
Through Kiev.
To Kiev, exactly. To come north, to come up to Lviv. So to avoid that, I ran as much as I can towards them. And the problem was, Shawn, that we didn't have we didn't have phone. I had my phone, but there was no communication. In between that, the journalist from Poland, they advised me, says, you don't use the phone. Don't call anybody because they can track you. I said, who can track me? He said, the Russian can track you. And you have an American passport. And they're not too happy with Americans. So if anything happened on the road and they stop you, we don't know you. Unfortunately, we don't know you because we need to keep going to Kiev. So I said, well, that's fine. But that scared me.
Yeah.
That put a fear in my heart and my mind. So we made a plan. They did. They said, don't worry about it. We're going to stay away from the main road. We're going to travel to the farms. We're going to take the dirt road as far as we can go. Sometime we're going to have to go back into the main road and then bear back again towards the farms. I said, whatever it takes. So we ran like 2 days and 2 nights, and we stopped to sleep because we couldn't drive anymore.
Yeah.
I was really tired. So in order for us to save some gas, we warm up the car really, even until you were sweating, and then you shut it off, and then you go to sleep. But the temperature outside was between 4 and 7 degrees below zero.
Wow.
I asked the guy, I said, my reading says below zero. He said, yeah, that's what it is. This is always like this here. So you go to sleep, and then the cold wake you up,
And you were saying that a lot of the folks didn't have electricity, didn't have heat and things in some of the cities. So they haven't had any type of heat for like a month now or something like that.
Exactly. But even if the farmers, they have electricity, they will not keep the electricity. They will not keep the lights on. They will not make it easy for anybody as a target. So I think it was recommended by the authorities, not to keep the lights on late.
Yeah. If you go on to the article that I have posting, you will see photos that, Ed, you have shared with us of some of the scenes from what you saw while you were out there, going through parts of Ukraine, getting towards your destination to pick up your relatives. You did see Russian soldiers along the way, correct?
Right. Yes. We saw columns of them, following each other. But one morning, I think it was the 4th morning, when I was almost at my destination, we got to a place where we were looking for fresh bread, that we were told, that if we go towards this direction, because we was asking, where can we find bread, where we can find coffee, something hot.
Yeah.
And they told us, the little town, blah, 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 and they told us how to get there. But when we got there, we saw many people, but also we see people laying down because they got killed. I don't know if you got that news.
We did see that we did see that on television, and you had sent photos.
Yes, there was 11 or 12 people got killed there because, according to the Russian soldiers, they said they were getting firearms, and that was not the case. They were waiting to get the bread and take the bread home. They just kill and then they ask, So it was really your morale. It goes to the ground. You can't concentrate because it's not easy to see dead people on the street. It's not easy. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. It gets into your system.
And you saw people along the roadways walking and driving, trying to get out from where you were sort of going to pick up people. They were still trying to go towards Lviv, right?
Right. We find those people when we could not ride anymore on the dirt roads. We had to go into town.
Yeah.
That's when we saw all those people walking the opposite way towards where we came from. Many of those people walking. many of those people walking, and I don't know how they do it because it was so cold. They told me, one couple, they told them, and they told me that the people in the car, they cannot take him because the car is full of people, but they will get out of the car, let them sit in the car, get warm, and then continue walking. That's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was very unbelievable. It's so touchy, you know. They allowed those people get warm.
It was a great reuniting with your family, though. You guys finally meet. You were able to get a warm meal, sort of get your mindset, and then head back west towards Poland. Then, right?
Right. When once we got to my final destination, I veered to my right, and there was the border immediately. So they kept going towards the capital, and I went into Poland. So as I went into Poland, I asked for a motel or hotel, and they told me where to find one. Then I already had some internet. So finally, I find this hotel, and I set up 3 rooms, 2 for them and 1 for me, so I could take a shower, get ready. And then I had to come back to the border and cross over to Ukraine again because the driver was too young to cross over to Poland. And even though his wife was there, his kids were there, he was not allowed to cross over to Poland because they were told that he needed to go back, bear arms, and start fighting, defend the country. So when we say goodbye to each other, when the wife say goodbye, everybody's crying, and I said, you'll see him again. It's hard. It's the emotion, the running is so high. So he said goodbye to me. Please take care of my family. It's in your hands. It's a lot of responsibility, Shawn. It's a lot of responsibility. Finally, we crossed over, put them in a hotel and this motel, and they took a shower. They feel better. We went out to eat, came back to the hotel, and then the next morning we start going towards Warsaw, the capital of Poland.
Of what you saw in Ukraine, will we ever see Ukraine what it was in our lifetime, or will it be at least 50 to 100 years before they could even build this place back to where they were before this?
I think we'll be able to see it. You and I will be able to see it. Maybe not the whole country, but most of it. It's a different situation now. The European Union is willing to help to bring back on their feet, Ukrainian. Ukraine is a rich country. It's a rich country. They have so many resources that everybody wants. So I believe they're doing it now. I can imagine once the war is over and they try to rebuild this country, I think they will be able to do it, and we will see some difference.
The one picture you sent of the building there was like a person standing out front, but the building is basically destroyed. I mean, it's just a shell of a building. I mean, it's just hard to believe that in this day and age, we're seeing this type of devastation. People just being displaced like this is unbelievable. You went through some of the refugee camps too, you said, and that was
Yes.
A lot of folks too.
Yes. Again, it's hard to describe. It's so much pain, so much pain. Everybody has their own story. Everybody. It's like us, Shawn. Can you imagine? You have your own bedroom, your own kitchen. You have your nice and comfortable house that you work very hard for it. And all of a sudden, soldiers from another country, they come and tell you have to leave. Or they force you to leave. Or your house and the whole neighborhood has been bombarded. You're just lucky if you leave there alive. And if you're still alive, of course you're going to leave there because it's a war zone.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen to your house. Yeah. And you know what happened. Many of those soldiers, they went into the house looking for food. There was loot in the house. And whatever they can find there, trust me, they're not going to leave it there. They're going to take it with them. It's a human thing. So that's the situation. You saw that building. That building, they have to do it all over again. They have to demolish the building.
Well, thank God you're home. You're safe and sound. Your relatives got out. Let's hope that the end of this war is sooner than later. And I thank you for taking time, sharing your pictures, your story. You're back in Ocean County. it's such a relatable having someone from here like yourself going there. You know, we see it on the news and it seems like a dream, almost like a, you know, like a movie. And here you are right here, you know, from the area, you were there, and it's far from a dream. It's a nightmare and it's real. So
Yes, I'm very grateful to your audience. I know many of those people that listen to your show, and Sue, pray for me. And I felt it. I really felt it. I felt it in those moments when I was all by myself, when I was in the middle of nowhere, when darkness was present, when cold went through my bones. I felt something special. But overall, knowing that I did a little something, little bit,
it's more than a little.
to get those people out of there, that comfort me. It comfort me knowing that those kids, they're going to be alive at the end of this war, and those families too. So,
well, God
very
bless you.
grateful.
Thank you for taking time to talk with us about this. This is such a horrible part of history, but I'm glad that we're able to tell people from someone who is there what this history is all about, and what's going on. And thank you for taking time to do that.
Thank you, Shawn, and thank you, Susan, and thank you, Sue. The whole staff of your radio station. And let's keep praying for Ukraine. I mean, this is not over. Let's keep praying for Ukraine, because as soon this finish, we'll be okay. Because we don't know. We don't know. It's far, but it's close enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So,
God bless you. Glad you're
thank
home safe, Ed.
Thank you.
Ed Cisternas, talking to us about his time in the Ukraine, saving family over there. It is unbelievable, this story. And we thank you, Ed, once again.
Thank you. Have a good day.